Being in New York honestly felt like a movie, like the subway, the yellow cabs, the fire escapes, the steam coming out from the roads, and it's really just opened my eyes to the fact that New York is a real place and it's an achievable outcome. It showed us that there is a career out there waiting for us.
The purpose of this trip is to take our high potential and gifted dance students away to experience a range of different classes in different genres.
We're exposed to so many different dance styles, like lyrical, contemporary, Broadway jazz, street jazz, funk, hip-hop, West African, just to name a couple.
It's about working with a range of different people to make yourself the best version of you as a performing artist, to excel in their chosen art form. And you can't get that anywhere else.
New York City is a thrill. Like, my blood was just pumping walking into New York City and like looking up in Times Square. It felt so surreal and just so exciting, and I was like, wow, like this is it. This is where it all happens.
The vibe of the trip was amazing, just being in New York and dancing through the streets with this big group of dancers and dancing on Brooklyn Bridge. We went to an Easter parade, we went to Central Park, and while we were in New York we got to see some amazing Broadway shows. We saw & Juliet, MJ the Musical, Little Shop of Horrors. We got to do a tour of Radio City in New York, and we got to meet one of the Rockettes. It was amazing because we get to ask questions and we got interviewed by her and we get to get photos with her, and she gave us an insight of what it was like to be a Rockette.
And that's a phenomenal experience, to be in a room with a Rockette and ask as many questions as you possibly can about the audition process, about where they studied, about what their favourite pair of dance shoes are, how long did it take them to achieve their goal, where to next for them. You know, an experience you can't get anywhere else.
Going and doing workshops with industry professionals who are still working in the industry and gaining like invaluable like knowledge and like dance expertise on so many different styles.
On our dance trip we did workshops with Alvin Ailey. We did 4 there. We did 2 with Steps on Broadway. We did 1 with Millennium. We did 1 with Broadway Dance Centre, and on top of that there was 1 with Disney, so it was a very jam-packed trip and we got a lot of knowledge from the workshops.
It's the ultimate dream for kids to be there, but the variety there in New York is quite expansive in relation to you being able to participate in a really technical Horton class or a Martha Graham class or a Cunningham class versus a West African class or a Masala Bhangra class or a Catherine Dunham. Like, these aren't opportunities you can get anywhere else but New York.
My favourite workshop was definitely the hip-hop workshop we did at Alvin Ailey. We had Tweet Boogie as the choreographer, and she just had so much knowledge, and she's been there since almost the start of hip-hop, so it was just honestly so great to be able to work with someone that knows that much about a style.
It's so exciting, like going in the big studios, and they've got all the windows and you see the people walking past on the streets of New York while you're dancing, and you're learning with people who have been doing it for years and they're still in the industry and they're still performing and they're still learning and they're passing their knowledge on to you, and someone like Alvin Ailey is so special.
Los Angeles just had a completely different vibe. Like, we did all the normal sightseeing, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the Hollywood sign, Hollywood Boulevard. We even got to tour Dolby Theatre, which is the home of the Oscars every year, so that was really good.
For me, LA is really, really important for those kids who are wanting that commercial aspect of dance. It's the now. It's the dance industry now. It's your video clips. It's your up-and-coming choreographers who are on So You Think You Can Dance, or, you know, they're choreographing for the Arias, and they're the people that we're working with.
You know, we had a teacher at Millennium who got back at 4 a.m. that morning from Coachella, taught us a combination, and then the next week it was on the stage at Coachella. Like, it's amazing to see that we're actually learning and stuff and getting an insight into the professional world.
While we were in Disneyland, we even got to take place in a Disney workshop, which was really good because you almost get like a behind-the-scenes glimpse into what it's like to be an artist at Disneyland.
These trips are so important for emerging artists because they provide an opportunity to do things that we don't get here, that we don't have access to.
You know, the kids dance in Australia, yes, but, you know, have they had the opportunity to really experience culture and traditional movement?
To me, the trip was so fulfilling, and it's honestly like expanded my knowledge so much as a dancer, like learning with choreographers that know so much.
If you ever get the opportunity to do a trip like this, it's life-changing. It's a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and it's something that you wouldn't want to let it walk away from you.